Hello, 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 everyone. It's Natasha. I was like, you know what? I want to start another little project. One, I'm trying out this thing. Like I said, I'm new, so y'all gonna give me some grace. I started a project, or I'm about to start a project that you guys are going to start with me, and it is I am going to write scriptures on each and every one of these pages. 264. Now, as far as how long that will take, I don't know. But I have to that feeling when you have to sneeze, like it's right there, and then it goes. Mm, that's how I'm feeling. Um, and I have some sharpies that I don't know if they'll last 264 pages, but it's for my oldest daughter, Kelsey. She is so creative. She loves science experiments. She loves just anything with creativity. And my husband, creativity guru. I mean, them two together, just amazing. So I honestly thought this paper would look a little different. Like, can y'all see? Like, it's like I don't know. Maybe I was looking for the consistency of construction paper. I mean, not a construction paper, but poster paper. Like it has that smoothness. But nevertheless, though, I am going to be using my creative journaling Bible. This was gifted to me. Can you guys see that? It was gifted to me a long time ago by a friend of mine. It's the modern English version. And I was gonna use my daughter's Bible. She has. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all about the version of it, but it's more practical language for a kid. You know, I am a King James version, not a New King James version Bible lover, but obviously what I plan to do with these is put them on our kids' ceiling, like create them a new ceiling. You see, create them a new ceiling so it's going to be multicolored with scriptures on it. I mean, I just thought that was so neat. I thought it was, something really, really exciting. So when our oldest daughter comes back home, she's going to look up and she's going to be like, wow, they love me, right? Because we love doing things like that for our kiddos. Now, when I first became a mom, first of all, I am 30, right? And mm, I knew, obviously, how to become a mother, right? And I did that very thing. Now, there is a whole difference between having a baby and being a mother. I learned real fast that my request that I was putting, petitioning for, putting in God's ear was that I wanted to have a baby with who I was dating at the time. I wanted to have a baby. Now, I don't know where my wise counsel was, but apparently I was not counseling with them because they would have told me, baby, you don't want no baby. You want a family. Matter of fact, you want more than a family. You want a structure. You want the dynamics to be healthy. You want that child to be born into a life of prosperity. Like you don't want just a baby. And I was like, I didn't learn that until later in life, but that's okay. That's not what we're here for this time. So I was like, ooh, I did want a little my own, a little handsome baby, right? Because I have 7 brothers, and I was like, I didn't help raise them. I know what I'm doing, and that was the gist of it. Because I babysat often, or I changed diapers often, or I seen how my parents or the list of parents, which is a podcast for another time, um, were raising the kids. So I was like, oh yeah, I already know what I'm doing. I didn't know nothing about the price of formula. I didn't know really anything about breastfeeding. I didn't know how much the bottles cost. I definitely didn't know how much the diapers cost. Let me tell you. Huggies, I'm gonna need y'all to start printing out some coupons or something like in the store, okay? Amazing diapers, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they add up. But I was like, you know what? I got this. I got this. So with all the stuff going on, and I was like, yeah, I'm in the middle of my college career. I'm in the middle of my military career in college. And I was like, started family. Nothing like my mind was so one sided that I was blindsided by the consequences of having my first child in college. Like there's nothing wrong with that in the sense of like, oh, that's just a horrible regret or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I didn't I didn't look at both sides of it. Yes, a child is a blessing. Yes, they will save your life, in a sense of you're just going about life, not really caring about what you're doing. They will make you like buckle up and button up. You know what I mean? But oh I was like, she crying again. I gotta get up again. She hungry again. I just did that. And when you don't have that parental guidance, you're kind of leaning on other people who might have had a kid, at that time, or, things that you remember. But then all of a sudden, raising my daughter, my memory got a little foggy. I didn't some things I just did not remember happening. Like I don't remember my little brothers blowing out their diapers to poop was on the back of their shoulders. Like I think I would have remembered that. Like that is something so distinct that when it happens, you're like, how? How did all this come out of something so little? You're so little. You're what? How? Huh? What do I do? Do I throw this away? Am I wasteful if I throw this away? Hey, I'm gonna hold y'all. I ain't gonna. I threw them clothes away. Okay, I was ready to hose that girl down outside. I was like, this is nasty. I don't care that I just went the whole childbirth thing and there's so much fun. I don't it it was nasty, okay? Yeah, I saw online someone was like, "Oh, you must be rich to be throwing away clothes." No, 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 no. I can go find me a Goodwill. I can go find me a spot me if I'm really if I was really down and out like that, you know. It's funny because I'm talking with my hand, but you can't see it. But I'm really showing y'all a show over here. You just can't see it. And I was like, okay. And then when you overfeed them, nobody told me you can overfeed a baby. They didn't say if that baby drink that milk too fast that she gonna give it a return to sender and with your address on it. Nobody told me that. They didn't tell me that. You know how I found out? You want to know how I found out? The baby just ate. Nobody said don't lay it on the baby right after they ate. Natasha didn't know that. The baby was full. I said, okay, y'all need to change your diaper, lay her down. Then all of a sudden, she painted my lovely, lovely face with all that glorious, glorious pump milk. Now, I don't care if you breastfed, nursed. I think that's the word people prefer because they get a little different. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you nursed. It doesn't matter if you bottle pumped and then fed the baby. Doesn't matter if you formula fed the baby. It don't matter if you goat fed the baby, chicken, cow, where everybody else be getting the milk. I don't know all the other sources. A happy baby is a fed baby, or is it a fed baby is a happy baby? I think it's a fed baby is a happy baby, but a happy baby is a fed baby because baby, you don't feed me, I am not happy. You understand? That's besides the point. I think that's I think that's where my kids get it from. 'Cause I get real quiet, real quiet when I'm hungry, and hungry to hangry. I don't think it really got a bridge. I think they're one of the same. But she just proceeded to decorate my clothes and in my face, and you know when it initially happens, you're like, oh, okay. My first thought is, are you okay? Because that came out you kind of quick. Like, are you okay? Like, are you gonna be hungry again? Because I feel like the amount that comes out of babies when it's that projectile, they're just that burp bubble or something. Just it just brought everything up with it. I'm like, how do I still follow the 2 hour regimen? Like nobody's talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm stressed over a diaper changing spit up moment. Like I'm stressed. I'm 21 and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I gotta go to school. So I'm like, you're only a couple months old. Well, nobody's telling me this anxiety, this anxious feeling that I get when I'm like, oh, I gotta drop off my baby. She don't even know how to talk. She don't even. She can't. She. How she gonna tell me if y'all pinched her? You know, like I think about that, and then people will be like, "Oh well, you just need to put her in daycare. You need to. Do you know the horror stories of of people? Sorry, y'all, if this is loud. I'm just women understand. Women understand when your strap is just falling, you just gotta get it. You just gotta get it. Okay. Look, and this is my first time with this, so I'm gonna try to leave it alone. I'm gonna try and just leave it just like that. Mind you, shout out to my husband because he's the one who got these. And when he first showed them to me, I thought he had a bug on him, y'all. I was like, get it. And it was this microphone piece. These little fuzzy things come off, so you can switch them out. Anyway, see, that's my mom brain. Okay, this is how much I don't have the socialization with other adults. Okay, you see, I gotta tell you everything all in a couple minutes because my brain sometimes be like day attention span, and I get to so. But I'm back. I'm back, y'all. So I got the diaper down. I understand. Put the diaper under before the other diaper because you don't know if there's it just be full. You know what I'm saying? I learned that instead of taking the shirt over their head when the shirt be gross, when why you ain't standing up when the shirt be gross, instead of pulling it over their head, you just open this little part right here and slide it down on them. You know what I'm saying? I learned that. I definitely learned don't lay no baby down after they just ate. Hmm. And if they burp once, just one just no, 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 keep patting. There's something else in there. Yeah, yeah, he agreed. It's something else in there. Okay, I learned that. I learned that. And you know what else I learned? After they just used the bathroom, don't be all super quick. Don't be super quick to change the diaper, because it's probably some more leftovers. You understand? And see, and he keeps dropping this thing on purpose because he's my son, you know. But you see, it happened to my brain. I did it again. Anyway, there's so much I learned in a little bit of time, and then I learned you actually gotta spend time with them. Now, don't talk bad about me. Now, I know you have to spend time with your children, but I underestimated the amount of time. Like I don't remember watching the adults in my life spend that much time with their child. Like it was like, here, watch your sibling, or here, you watch my baby for a second, or here, I didn't understand community. I did not get why it was so important to have child rearing capable people around, okay? Because you can have all the people around you and they have no business watching your kid. And some family members, they don't want to admit that. I'm not talking about my family, but I've watched other families, you know, get upset like, why you don't never bring the child over here? Why you don't never bring my great 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 granddaughter? Or why you don't never bring, And it's like, how many ways you want me to tell you that where you live and what you doing, how you doing it, and when you doing it is unfit. That's not safe. There, you shouldn't even be in that scenario. You know what I mean? Like, but people be grown. They don't want to hear that. They just think that you should accept their way of living, and you should invite your child into that same space. He's watching this little turnip thing. I don't think he like it too much. Little dancing fruit thing on TV. Got some corn, a little broccoli, a little carrot. I don't know, but I don't. You you not feeling that? He ain't feeling that. Okay, and so I misread the situation. So now I'm trying to figure out how am I gonna finish getting my college degree and I got a kid. Why didn't I think about that when I was requesting a kid? Did I just think like, oh well, it's gonna work out. Somebody's gonna be at home. Somebody might like I had to have assumed something that I didn't have the conversation with myself. You know how you like you think something out and you think of the pros and cons and you weigh it with yourself. You talking with yourself. So you kind of did see counsel. It was just yourself. I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that. I was just like, I'm in love. This these feelings must be love. Love conquers all. Love changes people. Love will make this relationship better. Love will give this child everything that it needs. The perseverance because we love each other is gonna make sure that these things are healthy. And somebody in my ancestry line should have been like, no, child, no, don't do it, don't do it. But everything that goes wrong, as we call it, in our lives, it tends to all work out for our good in one way or the other. And that's going to be talked about in a different video. But with Kelsey, one, I saw each and every flaw that I have. Okay, maybe each and every is a bit exaggerative. I'm a I'm a God fearing, God loving woman. So sometimes I sound a little churchier than normal, okay? And I'm used to saying each and every one of you are loved by God because one, that's true, but two is true. You get what I'm saying? And so I started seeing some of the things where I was like, oh, you acting like me. Big Show, who you talking about? You looking like me. You got the nerve to have the same habits I have. You got the nerve to have the same understanding and responses I have. Who I don't like. See, people think it's all sweet and candy, and it's all because that's my baby. That yeah. It is. But that same baby, I'll be wanting to karate chop her in the eyebrow. People like, oh no, you can't. You gotta just. I'm a just. And see, us '90s babies, we was we was raised a little bit differently. You see this hand? Oh, our parental hands went every way upside us, but softly. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? So when that first child of mine, it took for me to look at the consequences of my reactions to her doing something wrong or me being disappointed in something that she did. It took for me to see her cowering or her to be like kind of reserved, from me. And I used to be like, what's your problem? But then I'm like, dang, Natasha, look how you talking to her. If you doing the same thing that was done to you and you thinking that's giving her structure. Yeah, it's structuring her for something, and it ain't good. And I was like, dang, I gotta work on me. Baby, I'm out here working full-time job. I'm out here going to school full time. I'm out here going to my when I was on a Navy scholarship at the time. I'm doing that full time. I'm you, you I'm parenting full time, and you want me to work on myself? Who said I want? Who said I wanted to do that? But I was like, I got time. That's what I said. I got time. I got time. Now Kelsey's one, and I'm like, where did the time go? You know, I have snippets and videos, but things in my life at that time were so unhealthy. I didn't even I didn't even realize what I actually looked like. I sometimes when you rewatch them videos from back in the day when you was living, so called living, and you be like, that's me. I was really doing that. Ah, and it's on video. Oh, there's proof. Oh, and I was just like, I'm glad it wasn't worse than this. I mean, it was, but it wasn't on video. But I mean, still, and you start to see little things in that firstborn child where you be like, I gotta fix this. But then you say, how? Yeah, you didn't already see me do it. You didn't adopted these habits. You believe that it's okay to react like this, to have a temper. Like, I'm like, what you doing at 1.5 with a temper? What temper? It's because you seen me explode like that. It's because you seen me be aggressive like that. And I'm like, I said to myself, well, she is gonna be my only child. That's what I said. I said she's gonna be my only child, so I can just give her everything and anything that I ever wanted or ever needed and didn't get. I was that kind of parent. I was like, hey, I'm sold. I'm I'm gonna train her up in a way that that I am. It didn't occur to me like maybe you need to raise her for how she need to be. You don't need another one of you. You got trauma. You got issues. At the time, you was influenced by demonic spirits and didn't even know. You had generational curses on you. You had an unhealthy mindset. You had foul language. You had yeah. I mean, but you none of that. Sorry, y'all. I'm working. I'm working. Give me some time. I had all that going on, but I didn't know. I was just like, I'm gonna be the best mom, no matter what anybody say. They say I had a kid too early. I know, but I did. I did. If I would have known so much should go into the process before you start a family, I think I would have waited. But you gotta understand God's timing, God's plan for the decisions that He know we finna make. The way He turned that around is crazy. And so I'm watching her, and I become more and more involved in her life. Like, why are you talking like that? Who did you hear talk like that? She was like, well, mommy, you said. I'm like, I can't I can do what the older generations do. Well, do as I say and not as I do. Like, that's a load of baloney because we're creatures of habit. So what I see you do, I'm going to inadvertently do, and then tell myself, "Oh man, I shouldn't have did that," while I'm doing it again. I was like, "Dang, I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you." But nobody, I don't know where to get this information from. Like, is it too late? Now, when she was 2, I didn't went ahead and we moved from Louisiana to what's wrong, Papa? From Louisiana to Texas, and I was like, "Bet this is where we're gonna live. I'm back at my hometown. Everything's good." you think blue and yellow, or is that kind of anyway? We're gonna do it anyway. Um, and so I was like, it's gonna be fine. We're staying in one bedroom, and I'm like, man, this is not the life that I thought you were supposed to have. I got this degree now, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't have a plan B. Like plan A was just straight Navy. You know, it was straight military. That was gonna be my career, and whatever I chose in it, like I was just gonna flourish in it. I did not when I was requesting for me to become a mother, I did not think about how it was going to impact me, and my dreams and goals. Like, I just thought it was going to be a little adjustment. I didn't know it was going to kick that mug into overdrive. I just, I didn't think about it. I don't know. And I didn't have nobody there to be like, girl, don't do that. You crazy. Would you know how like, your whole life in a flip upside down, and not necessarily in a negative way, but it's gonna be completely different. Life, you breathing is no longer just for you. You're breathing for you and for her. And I didn't take that into account. I just figured making it up as you go is okay because that's how I survived growing up. We just okay, something changed, we're just gonna go with it. That is not great to do. It's just not great to do, y'all. And I'm like feeling like a disappointment, feeling like I I just messed up another human's life. Like I had already started telling myself that I messed up somebody else's life, like her life. Like she's a little human, and and I know some people when their child is born, they're just all and all this stuff, and they're just I didn't have that because of the stress of my relationship, the stress of my living situation. Like I when it dawned on me, before she was born, it dawned on me like I did not think this through, and it's too late. Because one, I I personally were like, if I brought this child in purposely, then I'm gonna purposely keep her. There's different stances, there's different opinions, there's different beliefs. That's that's not up to me. I don't choose that. I can only choose for Natasha. You get what I'm saying? And it's not for me to put my mouth on nobody about nothing that they got going on, nothing they did, nothing they will do, nothing they believe they should do or that they shouldn't do. That that is personal, spiritual relationship between them and our Father in heaven. Anyway, so I what's wrong, Bubba? Are you sleepy? I said to myself, why do kids do this, man? I don't get it. Maybe it's a warm pocket. I don't know. But I was just like, wow, I'm gonna have a kid, and the situation outside of this womb is not ideal to be having no kid. It just ain't. So when she was born, I was like, I'm your mom. I guess we gotta figure this out. And I was waiting for that like gushy, like, oh, like you're so cute. But I was so unattached from myself, and I was already in a depressive state myself before even having the baby. So I thought something else was wrong with me because I didn't have this overly like overfilled cup of joy and love, and just it was all worth it and all this other stuff. Like I didn't have that kind of birth testimony, and I thought something was wrong with me. But I was like, I was talking to someone, and she was like, but do you know how reasonable that sounds? I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. She was like, that baby is a whole nother human. You don't know nothing about her except for the fact that you just birthed her and who her father is. She will have a whole personality. She will have a whole thought process that you're going to get to watch and learn. To love somebody is to know somebody. And as my husband say, to know somebody is to love somebody or something like that. I'm going to have to ask him. But I wanted to know her. Like, what what do you like? What foods do you like? What are you allergic to? What things make you cry? What things make you happy? Because not all babies are the same. They don't all think the same. They don't all look the same. They don't all respond the same. I mean, there's a generalization, but my baby ain't no generalization type of baby. That's how I'm coming at it, you know? And so I stopped feeling guilty for not feeling that over full cup and just acknowledge that I didn't even experience that kind of love in life to be able to give that kind of love. But I wanted to. There was something that I sought after, you know? And so as I worked on our relationship, now she's 2, she's about to turn 3. I'm still trying to find myself, exploring stuff. And but I learned really quickly, you got to be careful because boy, them kids, they pay attention to everything. They be acting like they ain't paying attention, playing with their little toys. They be paying attention. When I tell you, they're like, I used to call Kelsey a parrot, like a little tape recorder, because there are some things that I'll be around and she would repeat it at the worst possible time. Why do kids do that? Why do they say, well, mommy said you actually look like, oh, and you be trying hard not to snatch them. You be like, shut up. Like, I know I can't be the only mom that experienced that when like I don't know if my face turns red when I'm embarrassed, but I feel like I outbeat a tomato in a lot of scenarios because why are you repeating that? Why did I even allow you to hear that? How did that even become repeatable? Why is that in your memory? Okay, like when you supposed to be playing leapfrog with your little friends? Why was you in my as the old folks say? Why was you in my mouth? Okay, mouth. You hear mouth, not mouth, mouth. No, not mouth. Why are you using my mouth? Okay, and kids just find it so funny. They find it so funny. And you just be like, you don't know what you just did. Okay, you don't know what you just did. And so I saw that I gotta be careful. I'm out here. I wasn't wilding out now. I wasn't wilding out at that time. Maybe a little bit before, but not at that time. And I was like, I became protective over her. And I was like, dang, you kind of, you, is he asleep, y'all? Maybe this little arm pocket, this little pocket worked for something. I don't know. But I just found myself being protective over her. Like I was like, we ain't going over, X, Y, and Z. Oh no, we can't, we ain't doing that. And so it took when she was about 3. Now I knew I cared about her immensely. Like I knew I I would move heaven and earth for this little girl. I knew it. There wasn't a doubt, but I was waiting for that rush of love that everybody had been talking about. Like just that warm hearted, like, I love her, but where is that? I wanted to experience that kind of love. And so we're watching TV one night and some show came on and this woman lost her kid. And I've seen that, so many times in shows, but it was just like, that's part of the show, like, oh, that's sad. But when you had your first kid and I looked over at her and it dawned on me, what if you woke up, but she didn't? What if the last interaction was you just being nonchalant. Next thing you know, your kid is in a tiny casket. And I began to cry because I couldn't imagine my life without her now. It was almost like as if she had been there this whole time, and I know she hadn't. She was only 3, but that's when I knew. I was like, I really love you. Like, I really love you. I love your little pigtails. I love your little sassy remarks. I love everything about you. And that's why I was like, I have to give you a second chance. I have to give you a second chance at life. Okay, I don't care what kind of hand I was dealt. I don't care what kind of cards I had to play. I don't care what kind of decisions I made back then, purposely or accidental. I got to figure out how to give you a second chance at life. I got to do it. And I just decided, man, this little kid is, I love her. You can't just go anywhere. I can't just be out here doing anything. I just can't be teaching you anything. It was like a wake up call, and it was right on time because I was already at a point where I was like, hey, I guess we just gonna continue doing this. Like, I didn't think about increase. I didn't think about success. I didn't think about starting a business. I was just like, as long as I can pay enough bills, get you enough clothes to last you until the next season, and eventually you'll start school. Okay, like I get you in the doctors, I take you to the appointments, like the little basic stuff. But then in that moment, when I thought about how would I even process losing her not being with me, even if it wasn't, something fatal, like just her not being with me. And I was like, you, I had been searching for this overfilled cup of love when I already had it. I was just showing it in my actions. And it just wasn't like what everybody else experienced. And I learned that moment, your experiences being a parent don't got to be like nobody else's. Okay? People can tell you all day, well, this is what I did, this is how I felt. And okay, that's great. But you don't gotta feel guilty because yours didn't look like theirs, because you didn't have the whole hospital room decked out, and you didn't come out with no robe and all this other stuff. When your kids came home, they didn't have okay, okay. My child had a pack and play from the time that she was birthed to the time that she was, what, 2? Like, because finances was different. So what? So what? If you putting out the best that you can do for your kids, for your kid, okay. But that firstborn, she taught me also, don't you take your eyes off them kids. Mm-mm. Wait, mm-mm. Don't sit down and scroll on your phone. Mm-mm. And they somewhere in the front of the house. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Don't do it. I thought that, we enjoy silence. We enjoy, but no, 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 no. When them kids get quiet, though, when them kids get quiet, you already know. It's too late. It's too late. They didn't got into something. They didn't turn something on. They didn't turn something off. This one here, he can reach the knob for our I can't even think of the thing, in our laundry room. And he turned it on. We couldn't figure out why the hot water wasn't working. He crawls in there one day, and I'm like, it was you. It was you. But with Kelsey, I didn't really have to. She didn't really get into nothing. I think because I had more time. Like, it was just her. But baby, that soap, toothpaste, water, mud. I can't tell you how many mud burgers then came across my palate. My what do you call this? Tray. Okay. Oh, that's what you did. Oh, that's a brown unicorn. Oh, okay, baby. Yeah, okay. sarcasm, I think sarcasm it must have been made by a parent. It had to be made by a parent because how do you get through parenting without sarcasm? I don't care what you say. What, because honesty is key. No, no, you tell that baby that her mud pie look like the scraped off part of bottom of somebody's foot. You're gonna hurt their soul. Okay, you better tell that baby that that mud pie looks like the best brown unicorn with glitter wings that you ever seen because that's important. I don't know why it's important, but it is. Okay. I have approved of a lot of things, a lot of arts and crafts things where I was like, now I hear the words that you're trying to tell me that that is, but maybe I just got an untrained eye. You know what I'm saying? I blamed it on myself. My parenting eye can't see it. And that's why it looked the way it looked. It's not you, baby. It's not you. It's me. You know, that it's not you, it's me speech. Yeah, I think it came from parenting too. Okay. It came from somewhere. And the humor, John, when your kids do something and you're a first time parent, I feel like you freak out over everything. Like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, do I need to take you to the to the laundry room? I'm do I need to take you to the emergency room? I had never been to the emergency room, like to take someone else. You know, I've been taken there, but when you take your own kid and you're waiting for doctors and you're waiting for, it's the most nerve wracking thing. I don't. I was like, you know what? I need enough money to where we can hire our own personal physician, like they come do house visits, come like I just want to open up our own hospitals where we go. And, like if our kids need to go, it's solid. They straight. Ain't no waiting room. Ain't no waiting line. Ain't no into it just straight to whatever we need. Okay, a parent's dream. A parent's dream. A child when they get into something and they get quiet, and then you go. In my case, Kelsey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just making something. Silence. That silence right there, go and get your gloves, go and get your paper towels, go and get your trash bags, and maybe some spray, maybe a little disinfectant if you got some, because making something is exactly what they're doing, okay? And sometimes your carpet just don't look the same. Now, those parents that got that all white carpet and white furniture and white chairs, like the cushion part of the chairs is all white and they got the white. How do y'all do that? I would never. Mm-mm. Never. Mm-mm. That, you know what? That would be one of those houses like I grew up, you know, little country style. There's a dining room. You can't go sit in there. That is not, you can't go eat in there rather. That is more like a museum. Don't sit on that couch. Don't even walk past that little gate thing that go to the den. Don't go in there. Don't turn on that TV. You are not allowed in there. You can sit in the living room, but that den, oh no 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 no. That is permission based only. Okay, don't you go in. Don't you go in grandmama den and sit on her couch. Okay, and you know it's serious if she put plastic on that couch. Don't do it. Don't do it. Tell your friends we going outside. Tell them we gonna sit in the front room. Let your friends play in grandmama den if you want to. Okay, and so I just there's just so much that goes into that goes into um picking up the things. It's actually funny because my sister's calling. Hello, hey sis, I'm actually doing the podcast. Oh, she hung up. I'm One day I'm gonna get her on here because she's an excellent mother, and I'm telling you the stories that she has to say is hilarious. But that's not the point. Point of all of this. I said that this is what we're gonna do. You see, that's parenting right there. You start on one thing. I got the book open. I got this open. But when mommy duties call, okay, you see that woman that be at the grocery store, she doing this, doing that, she on her phone, she looking at this, looking at the nose, trying to grab that kid, putting this shoe back on. You tell her good job. When you see that lady, you tell her good job. And if you are that lady, when you see yourself, you look in that rearview mirror to make sure all them kids buckle up, you tell yourself good job. Because I tell you what, it ain't easy. It ain't. So I appreciate all y'all kicking it with me, watching this, tuning in. I love it. I'm gonna go lay him down, and I don't know what we're gonna do about this, but I'll figure that part out. I love you guys. I had a great time. See you later.